Hi everyone. So happy 12/12 Portal Day. I wanted to talk a little bit about information that I received and basically the dimensions leading up to the 12th dimension. I haven't watched anyone else's video on 12/12 yet. I don't know if this will coincide. I guess I'll find out after I make it because I was busy last night. I was busy having a good time. My guides gave me the night off, so I took advantage of that. I don't know, what you believe personally about abstinence and all that, but I'm 34. It's the sexual equivalent of being an 18-year-old boy. Like, I need to have my fun. And yeah, if you believe in abstinence, that's cool, but my guides are like, the cup has to be emptied in order for you to fill it again, basically. So don't feel bad if you still have fun. Okay, so this morning I kind of asked very first thing before I had any thoughts of the day come in, all right, so what's so special about today? What do I have to look out for and stuff like that? And my guides were like, you'll notice small changes today. And they showed me mentally a picture of, logos again and all the Mandela effects with the logos and stuff. So they're like, yeah, there'll be small changes in your reality. And they also spoke of being tested again. And I don't know if this is dream time testing or real time testing. And I'm sure it's not going to be anything hard because I'm like, well, what do we do about that? And they were like, yeah, just do what you always do and operate out of your heart space and you'll be fine. So yeah, 12D. I feel bad because we didn't really talk very much about 11. We spoke about 10 being the dragon realm, but 11 is the high angelic realm. I kind of have a upper hand here because that was my first guide that I got in touch with, and my first way that I knew that I wasn't from here was getting in touch with my angelic, and this was probably my first experience with astral travel. And it was one of those where you're kind of asleep but kind of awake and you don't really know. Well, my first positive experience with astral travel anyway. So I asked them because I had a dream. See, this is where it gets very confusing because this is anywhere from a decade to 8 years ago that this happened. And the painting on the right of the angel, I didn't even realize today that I had entitled that Ascension, and that was 8 to 10 years ago. So the high angelic realm, I'll tell you guys what I remember, and I should have mentioned this yesterday, but the reason I kept asking how is this next to the angelic, because the fairy realm, I remember being right on the edge of the meadow that surrounds heaven. I remember, and I did spend a few lifetimes there, but yeah, from my perception, it seemed walking distance from the kingdom of heaven. So my memory of, I still really don't remember. I think it was an astral thing, but it could have been a dream. It was just very real to me, though. Sorry, let me turn my fan off. Okay. So I remember waking up in this field, and this field had little limestone path, not a straight path, but more those where you see one stone and then another stone and then another stone, and outside of it there were these white ball spheres on the edges of the path, and there were a few they looked like statues. And this is something that used to happen in the astral. If you didn't know what you were doing with astral travel, you could kind of get frozen. Anyway, so I perceived it as a spirit guide, but it ended up being one of my angelic friends. But they were in the form of a statue of a Pegasus, and it came to life, and it started it turned into a white-haired angel, and it started talking to me, and we just caught up on old times, and we started to walk down to the kingdom of heaven, which looked like this big palatial spiral palace. Yeah, it was this, but it was also surrounded by a bustling little city, but everything was white limestone, sparkly bright. So I have bare feet, and my feet are bare, and we're walking down the limestone and the path, We're past the spiral palace, and I'm like touching the walls, and the walls have this very smooth, like limestoney feeling. And everything's sparkly and beautiful, and I notice that there's sand under my feet, and I'm going into this market, and you can smell the spices, and everything is fresh in the air, and it's like this beautiful, and you're passing, like, I remember seeing people just lounging around by this little, it was like a little river, and there were people just lounging, and there was little tea glasses floating in the river, and people were just having angels were having philosophical debates, about things, and just strolling past all of this, strolling past the beautiful smelling market. There were shops. My angelic buddy was like a shop owner, and then we walked down to the harbor, and this is what I missed the most, because out of all the realms, heaven just resonates like beautifully for me. So I remember the harbor, and the harbor was like, instead of water, it was a harbor filled with clouds. And if you've ever seen like pictures of Greece where they have these, like, you know, everyone's porch is like a rooftop, and it just looks over the harbor, and it was just so beautiful. It was just this beautiful cloud harbor. Anyway, why did I get into that? Because that's the angelic realm. If you remember things about, because the palace that is heaven also has a library in it. There's a lot of different realms in heaven. Some people more identify with that Michael flavor and the fighting. I was not all for that. I was more about the Uriel and the library, and you'll remember torches and portals in the library. And then if you were, a Raphael person, you'll remember the healing part with the green energy and the Celtial. Or if you were, if you had that Gabriel flavor, it was like this bubbly white and yellow energy, and he would engage, or she would engage, however you want to perceive Gabriel, in the song. So the song was the choir, and there were all these angels who would just like basically merge their energy into one beautiful, like, it was almost like, I'm going to say sexual, but that's not right, but it was like this blissful feeling of just everyone dancing and singing, and it was just amazing. Just like this energy merging into one. And then there is a garden there where the throne, that as we perceive it, exists. And you basically turn into a little flower in God's presence, and that's beautiful too. So yeah, those are my memories of heaven. So that's 11. Heaven's 11. So 12, what is 12 then? So 12 is more like our realm. The reason that the 12-stranded DNA thing ends up being the next completion for us is because it's a realm where they have the ability to be good or evil. They have the ability, free will. So you get different flavors in that 12D. My aspect in 12D is my blue avian. First time I contacted my blue avian, which was only a few months ago, my whole heart center was filled with beautiful golden light. Just it felt like Christmas morning in my heart. It was just so beautiful. But there are other beings in the 12D. You have and I got this information from one of the people I follow who lives in Sedona, and the reason I believe a lot of people who live in Sedona is not only are you getting hit with light, like visible light from the sun, you're also getting hit with the Schumann resonance, which is that lightning. So there's a quartz bed under Sedona, and they're also the lightning center of the U.S. So they're getting both of those frequencies along with that frequency of the Earth, because they're out near. Anyway, yeah. So what they get over there, they're saying the other beings are the white overseers. As well, so the white overseers are really almost a there's the overseers, which I've heard different things about. The overseers, the one person I know who has an overseer, it does not seem like a Syrian flavor. It's weird because it saved his life, but it does almost come across like a darker entity or service to self entity, because it does draw him to that VR and that technology that can kind of like absorb your life as well. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the overseers yet. And then there's the white royals. So the white royals, they don't really seem to have much of a flavor either way to me. It's almost like they have a neutral flavor. They're very wise, they're very intelligent, they're very regal, they're large, but I don't know too many of their motivations either. So I'm connecting with my Blue Avian flavor, who from what I perceive is more service to other. But you know, Blue Avians, even they can go down through the dimensions too, and they definitely have a sense of humor, and they can be also like, I'm not gonna say trickstery, but like, yeah, there's something interesting about them. So yeah, I gotta have that Blue Avian love. What else? Oh yeah, and some finally, so I wanted to say that I believe that like the reason why they're doing the Aquaman thing now is because, like I said the other day, the masculines have to integrate their fairy, but they also have to integrate that emotional flavor, that merman thing, which I know Aquaman, they're trying to make them all tough now. But yeah, that's the masculines are working on. So water represents emotion, and so the man of the water, the emotional man. So we're pulling that in, and then the females and the feminines, sorry, are integrating the Viking, and they're integrating the dragon and some of these other flavors. So yeah, that's what I've received is going on. There's also the 12 Days of Christmas, so you got that Make-A-Wish flavor. Yeah, it's a very exciting time. I haven't really noticed any new Mandela effects today yet, but I really haven't gone out of the house so much. Let me know if you guys have noticed anything different, like minor changes today. And I wish you best of luck. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great 12/12 portal. Mwah. Love you. Bye. Blessings and better tomorrow.